Norway, land of fjords, Vikings, and increasingly really big bank accounts. You might think a country covered in snow half the year wouldn't be raking it in, but you'd be wrong. See, Norway found something under all that ice. A whole lot of oil, like a lot. We're talking the 5th largest exporter of crude oil in the world. Now you might be thinking, oil money? That never goes wrong. And you'd be right usually. Except Norway, they did something weird. They decided to be responsible about it. Imagine that, a country actually planning for the future. They didn't go on a spending spree buying solid gold yachts or whatever. Instead, they created something called the Sovereign Wealth Fund. More on that later, but just remember Norway is basically the responsible friend who puts all their birthday money into savings. So, this Sovereign Wealth Fund, what's the deal with that? Well, it's basically a giant savings account for the country. They take all that sweet oil money and invest it in things like stocks, bonds, real estate, you name it. And get this, it's not for some corrupt dictator to buy himself a solid gold house, it's for the people. The fund is designed to secure the future of Norway's economy even after the oil runs out, which, let's be honest, it will eventually. But until then, Norway is sitting pretty. The fund is now worth over $1.3 trillion. That's more than $200,000 for every single person in Norway. Now they're not just handing out giant checks, although come on Norway just once, but they are using the money to fund public services, education, healthcare, you know, the important stuff. Here's where Norway really separates itself from the pack. They understand that true wealth isn't just about how much money the country has, but how well its people live. Enter the social safety net. Norway is famous for its generous social programs. We're talking free healthcare, free education, generous parental leave, the whole shebang. And it's not just some bare-bones system either, they actually invest in quality. Because, and here's a radical idea, they see their citizens as human beings deserving of a good life, not just cogs in a machine. This approach might seem expensive, but here's the thing, it works. Norway consistently ranks highly in terms of happiness, life expectancy, and overall well-being. They've figured out that a healthy, educated population is a productive one. Who knew? Section 4, Beyond Oil, Diversifying Norway's Economy. Okay, so Norway has oil, they're saving it wisely, and they're taking care of their people. But what happens when the oil runs out? Good news, Norway's been thinking about that too. They're not putting all their eggs in one basket or, you know, all their oil in one giant sovereign wealth fund. They're investing in renewable energy, technology, and other industries to diversify their economy. They're even looking into things like carbon capture and storage because, hey, might as well try to save the planet while you're at it, right? The point is, Norway is playing the long game. They're not just thinking about the next quarter or even the next decade. They're thinking about the next generation and the one after that. Section 5, a model for the future, Norway's sustainable success. So, what can we learn from Norway? Well, for starters, maybe don't blow all your money on fleeting things like, I don't know, invading other countries. Just a thought. But seriously, Norway's success story is a powerful reminder that it is possible to be both wealthy and responsible. They've shown that investing in your people and planning for the future is not only the right thing to do, it's also good for business. Now, replicating Norway's model exactly might be tricky for other countries, but there's definitely some valuable lessons to be learned here. Maybe, just maybe, the rest of the world can learn a thing or two from the land of fjords and fiscal responsibility. Because let's face it, we could all use a little more Norway in our lives.